Hello there. Greetings, everybody. Good morning and welcome here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, we're here today to do the series we're doing for the month of July, which is my 31 favorite rock albums that came out in 1969. So, this is day number 29. Album number 29, of course, album number 3 of 29 so far. So, anyways, the album is by the Steve Miller Band. The album is called Brave New World. This came out in 1969, obviously. Um, it's kind of a different album for me. I kind of came into Steve Miller when I made friends with my friend Mark back when we were in public school. So it was late 1978, early 1979. That's when I first knew about Steve Miller. Um, I really wasn't into him at that point. I didn't own anything by him, but my friend Mark's brother had the greatest hits by Steve Miller, very poppy album. There's a couple tracks there that I recognized from the radio when I was a kid. And I kind of liked it, but I didn't say anything because I was a Kiss fan and I couldn't have anything interfering with that. But anyways, that was when I kind of discovered them. This is a little bit different than that music. So that music was kind of the 70-ish style Steve Miller. This is a little bit different than that. It's I would call this kind of a mismatch of a lot of stuff going on here. So it's almost like he wasn't quite sure what direction he wanted to go in. So he had a little bit of everything on this album. So he had, for instance, things like, actually, I should put my glasses on so I can see what I wrote down here. Um, like that California folky stuff going on, a little bit of that going on here. You got a little bit of hard rock, not too much, but a little bit here. Um, you've got actually some proggy stuff too. Kind of opens with a kind of a proggy element. There's some noisy things going on there. So he has that. There's a couple of other songs with these kind of noise effects going on too that kind of remind me of prog music. You've got some bluesy elements here, but not too much of it because I don't generally like pure blues at all. In fact, a little bit of blues is usually fine with me, but when it starts dominating the mix too much, I'm not really all that crazy about it. And then you got this kind of quirky element that's going on throughout the album, these little quirky lyrical parts and strange kind of uses of I guess choruses and stuff like that. And just it's quirky that way. So the one song that I like quite a bit on this album, it's probably my favorite on the album. There was no hits on this album, by the way. Is Space Cowboy. I kind of like the quirkiness about it. It's it's a little on the poppy side, but it has some proggy kind of quirkiness to it, almost like a Caravan type thing going on, although it's not. Doesn't really sound like Caravan, but the same type of idea, if you know what I'm saying. But it's a good album. It's a pretty solid album. I've I've looked around to try and buy it, but for some reason the Steve Miller stuff isn't easily to find. I have gotten a few. There's one that I'm probably going to get this weekend that I like since I heard it back in the 90s, and I never bought it because I could never find it back then. But the one song was on the radio all the time, so I kind of like that. But this album is pretty strong. I think it's a decent album. It's going to come in here at number 29 today of my 31 favorite rock albums released in 1969. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please hit the like and subscribe. That's always appreciative. If you want to make your own album for today, you can do that in the comment section. If you want to comment about the Steve Miller Band album, you can do that. If you want to say anything about anything I've said, you can do that as well. So, anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this. We will see you all tomorrow for another episode. So, have a good day, a good night, and a good evening, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster. Take care.